Hello, this is Bunton with your Visual Functional Mathematics at level 2, and this is your last lesson on section 1 numbers. But remember that the rest of this particular unit depend heavily on your knowledge of numbers. So it's important that you're grounded on numbers, understand all the different topics we've covered, because you will be required to apply those knowledge and skills in the rest of the unit. And our topic for today is formulas in words and formulas using letters. Formulas are very, very important because there are certain rules that you have to apply. If you apply the rules correctly, you'll be fine, but if you do not apply them correctly, you can easily go wrong. So please read through the video, and anything you don't understand, go through it again, and most importantly, do the practice test questions. Okay, for today, you will know that formulas are rules we apply to solve maths problems. You'll know the definition and purpose of a formula. You know that a formula can have more than one step. You know that formulas can be represented using letters, and you learn how to put numbers into formulas. The key words you will be familiar with by the end of the lesson are, of course, formula, rules, steps, words, letters, and numbers. I know we all don't like rules, but they're important. You've got negative rules, you have positive rules. Positive rules are there to develop your mind and to make sure you apply proper guidelines. Let's look at formulas in words. A formula is a type of rule, as I already said. It is a rule for working out an amount. Formulas can be written in words. Sometimes it can be tricky to spot the formula. Let's look at this example. Sia packs 40 boxes an hour. How many boxes can she pack in 6.5 hours? You're told that Sia packs 40 boxes an hour. This is a formula. You can use it to work out how many boxes Sia pack in a given number of hours. How? Let's look at it. The calculation you need to do here is number of boxes, which is equal to 40 times number of hours. You've been asked how many boxes Sia can pack in 6.5 hours. So put the 6.5 hours into the calculation in place of the number of hours. Number of boxes is equal to 40 times 6.5, which is equal to 260. Remember, first of all, the calculation you need to do here is number of boxes is equal to 40 times number of hours. You've been asked how many boxes Sia can pack in 6.5 hours. So, put the 6.5 hours into the calculation in place of the number of hours. So, number of boxes is equal to 40 times 6.5, which is equal to 260. You can use the same formula to work out how many boxes Sia can pack in any number of hours. Formulas can have more than one step as well. Some formulas have 2 steps in them. You need to be able to use 2 steps formulas. Let's look at the example. Owen has moved into a new house. The telephone company will charge him £110 to connect the phone line. Then the line rental at £11.50 per month. How much will Owen's phone line have cost him after 12 months? 2 points. The formula here is £11.50 per month plus £110 connection fee. The cost of phone line is equal to open brackets £11.50 times number of months close brackets plus 110. Then just put the right numbers in. In this case, it's 12 months. So the completed formula would be £11.50 times 12, which is the number of months, plus 110. And your answer for the cost for the year is £248. Practice question set 1. Dan is getting some furniture delivered. Delivery cost £5 per item. How many will it cost Dan to get 7 items of furniture delivered? Question 2. Chrissy needs a wallpaper stripper. It costs £12.50 a day to hire plus a deposit of £40. How much will it cost Chrissy to hire the wallpaper stripper for 3 days and the deposit? Angela is leaving her car parked at the airport while she goes away on business for 5 days. It costs £24.50 per day to park there, and there is a one-off charge of £15. How much will it cost Angela to park for 5 days? Question 4. Shabnam is a babysitter. She charges £5 an hour before midnight and £6.50 an hour after midnight. How much will Shabnam earn babysitting from 8 p.m. to 2 a.m.? Question 5. Josie takes a taxi when she travels between her house and town. The journey from her house to town or the other way around usually costs £8. If she travels after 11 p.m, the journey costs £12. In 1 week, Josie travelled to town and back 4 times. All the trips to town were both 11 p.m. One journey, however, back was after 11 p.m. How much did she spend on taxis? And these are your answers. Question 1, £35. Question 2, £77.50. Question 3, £137.50. Question 4, £33. And question 5, £68. Now let's look at formula using letters. It is easier when you understand how to use letters in formulas because you write less and they are more consistent. You make less mistakes anyway. And once you have those letters in your formulas, you can use it at any time. 1. You might be given a formula made up of letters. Each letter represents something. The trick is to find out what they represent and use them. Sometimes formulas don't use X as in times or the sign for divide, because in maths, when you multiply, you just put the 2 letters together. Instead of A times B, you have AB. That means A times B. And instead of A and the sign for divide, then followed by B, it's written as A stroke B. I think this reminds us that a fraction is a division sum, because that's another way of writing a fraction. Formulas can be shown using letters, as I said. And to work out the surface area of a hemisphere, you square the radius and multiply by 3 lots of pi, and the value of pi is 3.14. As words, this can be written as surface area equals 3 times pi times radius squared. The formula can be shortened by using letters instead of full words. So S is equal to 3 times P times R squared equals 3PR squared. S represents surface area. R represents radius. So let's put numbers into formulas now. If you have a formula written in letters, you can substitute numbers in by replacing the letters with numbers. Let's look at example 1. You see in the little yellow area, S is equal to 3 pi radius square. That little sign you see there is pi. Okay, let's read the question. A bowl of jelly has a radius of 9 centimeters. When the jelly is tipped out of the bowl, it is a perfect hemisphere. What is its surface area? Give your answer to the nearest whole number. Start by working out which letter you know the value of. You're told that the radius is 9 centimeters, so R is equal to 9 centimeters because R stands for radius. Then substitute these numbers into the formula. S is equal to 3 PR squared. P standing is for pi, as you see at the bottom. So S is equal to 3 times pi times radius squared. So S is equal to 3 times pi times 9 squared because the radius is 9. Another way of writing that down in the proper mathematical term is 3 pi, or that sign which is a Greek sign for pi, which is equal to 3.14. So S times 3.14 times 81, 81 is 9 squared, 9 times 9 is 81. And your answer is 763.4, but you have to round it down, so it's 763 to the nearest whole number. So the surface area of the jelly is 763 centimeters squared. Example 2. Temperature can be measured in degrees Celsius or degrees Fahrenheit. So the formula for Fahrenheit is equal to 9 divided by 5 Celsius plus 32. That can be used to switch between the two. C represents Celsius and F represents Fahrenheit. If the temperature is 15 Celsius, what is the temperature in Fahrenheit? You need to convert from Celsius to Fahrenheit. So first, write out the formula in full. F is equal to 9 over 5 times Celsius plus 32. The number of Celsius is 15. So put numbers in place of any letters you know. Here you're told that C is equal to 15. Therefore, F is equal to 9 over 5 times 15 plus 32. Work it out in stages. Write down values for each bit as you go along. F is equal to 27 plus 32, and therefore Fahrenheit is equal to 59. Where did we get 27 from? 9/5 times 15 is equal to 27. So you go back to 2. So the temperature is 59 degrees Fahrenheit. Example 3. Global phone, mobile phone contacts are worked out using the formula below. Cost is equal to M open brackets 5N plus 1000 close brackets. 5N means 5 times N. What is N? Cost in price in pence. M is equal to number of months. N is equal to number of text messages per month. So Rosie buys 12-month contract with 500 texts per month. She also buys a new phone. In total, the contract and the phone cost £780. What is the price of the new phone? That's what we have to find out. Let's look at it as it continues. Next slide. Start by writing the formula out in full. You know the meaning of those letters. Work out what values the letters have. Rosie buys 12 months contract. So M is 12, the number of months, and she gets 500 texts, which is N, the number of texts. With that, you substitute the numbers. Substitute these numbers into the formula. Cost is equal to 12 times, open brackets, 5 times 500 plus. Substitute these numbers into the formula. Cost is equal to 12 times, open brackets, 5 times 500 plus 1000, close brackets. So cost is equal to 12 times 3500. In case you're wondering where that came from, 5 times 500 is 2500 plus 1000, which is equal to 3500. The cost is equal to 42,000 pence. 42,000 pence is equal to 420 pounds. And then find the price of the phone by subtracting the cost of the contract from the total costs. 780 minus 420 is equal to 360 pounds. So the price of the phone, the new phone, is 360 pounds. Practice question set 2, questions 1 to 4. What is the value of 6ab squared if a is 4 and b is 7? What is the value of 4a divided by b when a is equal to 9 and b is equal to 12? Question 3. A teacher is organizing a school trip. The formula S equals C divided by 20 is used to work out the number of staff needed on the trip. S represents the number of staff needed and C represents the number of children on the trip. If 80 children are on the trip, how many staff are needed? This is question 4. It's a bit complex, but I want you to figure it out for yourself. I'm just going to give you the first bit. The area of a trapezium is given by the length of the base plus the length of the top, multiplied by half of the height. Write this as a formula where A is equal to area, that is capital A, and then small a is equal to the top of the length. Now read the rest of the question carefully and see if you can answer it. Practice question set 2, questions 5 and 6. Aki uses the formula below to work out how many fence posts he needs. N is equal to P divided by 8 times 5. N is equal to number of fence posts. P is equal to number of fence panels. Read the rest of the question and attempt the answer. Question 6. The formula on the right is used to find the cost in pounds of hiring one bike, including a deposit. And then Jill wants to hire 4 bikes for 5 hours. The formula is equal to 10n plus 5. How much will this cost? And your answers: question 1, 1176, question 2, 3, question 3, 4, question 4, A is equal to half H open brackets A plus B close brackets. B 54 centimeters squared. Question 5, 19, and question 6, 220 pounds. That is our lesson, but before we go, let's check what we've learned. You now know the definition and purpose of a formula. That a formula can have more than one step. That formulas can be represented using letters. You have learned how to put numbers into formula. And you've learned that we must complete all the practice questions to ensure that we are ready for the exams. That's my own idea. What's yours? Thank you. That's the end of our lesson. Please go through all the practice questions, read the instructions we've been given, and if you get all of the questions right, celebrate with a pat on the shoulder. If you don't, it's no problem, we learn from our mistakes. Just make sure you find out where we went wrong